Hey guys, Harvey Cthulhu here. Doomcock is posting more and more of his videos on my channel, so please subscribe to my channel and like it if you want to be sure and catch all of Doomcock's videos. Thank you.
When you gaze into the abyss also gazes into you. My friends, I have seen Joker, and I am still feeling the effects of this enigmatic and disturbing film hours after leaving the theater. Some films are so flawless in their execution, so singular in their vision, that to attempt to critique them according to your standard aesthetic is all but futile. While we always bring our own point of view to any film, and our viewpoints naturally determine how we will accept or reject that film, every once in a while a film like Joker comes around, turns your preconceived notions on their heads, and forces you to confront the film on its own terms. Director Todd Phillips has achieved something of a miracle with Joker, and I am here today to tell you that if you care anything about cinema, you owe it to not only yourself, but to all of pop culture to go see this magnificent film. Joker is an outstanding piece of cinema. Opaque, difficult, atmospheric, and fiercely intelligent, it's a throwback to the bravura filmmaking of the 70s, evoking the groundbreaking work of Scorsese in his prime. Director Todd Phillips reveals himself to be not only film literate, but fluent in the language of cinema. If the spastic gyrations of modern action movies with shaky cameras and hyperactive random cuts splayed across the screen in 24-frame bursts is the filmic equivalent of gibberish, Phillips' flowing, elegiac, masterful direction is erudite and elegant even as it depicts horrific events in a world gone mad. This is something I thought was extinct in Hollywood, a director who allows moments to unfold, letting his camera linger on beautiful compositions, taking the time to permit a scene to breathe, which, by contrast, makes frenetic moments of fast-cutting violence all the more breathtaking by comparison. Joker is not only an artistic statement, it's a rebuke to every hack director and trash editor in Hollywood who dumps footage into an avid Cuisinart and calls the random gobbledygook that hits theater screens film. Joker is an assured, masterful, auteurial vision, the likes of which one rarely sees in the 21st century, evoking the directorial masterpieces of prime 70s cinema, and this alone is ample reason to recommend it without reservation. But Joker is not merely a stylistic masterclass in directorial control and restraint. Joker is a complex and maddening piece of work that fires on every level. The plot is merely the surface of this film, and you cannot judge Joker merely on what happens. There are undercurrents in this film, undercurrents that I will detail and analyze in my detailed spoiler review, which will come no later than Monday. Suffice it to say, this is intelligent filmmaking that challenges viewers to pay strict attention. Joker is not the kind of popcorn film you casually watch. Joker is a film that proceeds at a meticulous, even leisurely pace. Viewers will either rebel against this challenge to the attention deficit hyperactivity of what passes for modern cinema these days, or they will struggle to insert themselves into this film, which is what I did. That is Phillips' intent. You will either be sucked into this film in a visceral way, or you will be completely alienated from it, frustrated by its opacity and deliberate pace. I can tell you right now, The Joker is a film that will reward reflection and repeat viewings. This is not a comic book movie, all-surface bombast with little or no subtext. With Joker, the film is the subtext. This is the kind of cinema I've been starving for, and Joker is the feast I needed. The performances are uniformly excellent, but of course, as was obvious from the trailer, Joaquin Phoenix is riveting as Joker. This should come as no surprise to anyone who saw his incredible performance in The Master, but even so, you should come prepared to be riveted by his unflinching performance. His intensity and nuance is the heart of this film, even as the subtext and masterful direction are its soul. There really is no comparison or conflict between Heath Ledger's Joker and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker because they are doing two different things. I can't really discuss this further without going into spoilers, but rest assured, I will cover this in my in-depth analysis of Joker coming in the next few days. But I can tell you this. Both of these actors made the character their own, carving out a place in cinematic history with their bold performances. And that's the word I would use to describe Joker. Bold. Warner Brothers was incredibly bold to produce this revolutionary film. Revolutionary mainly because it spits in the eye of modern mediocrity and dares to be brilliant. I want to congratulate Warner Brothers for making the kind of movie that artists used to make. They trusted Todd Phillips to pursue his vision without regard for commercial considerations. Joker is not merely a nod to auteur filmmaking of the 70s, it is a salute. Joker is truly a cinematic time capsule from a more civilized age. The first frames of the film present the Warner Brothers logo as it was in the late 70s, and from that point on, Joker looks, sounds, and feels like a previously unseen relic of 70s cinema, possibly even a forgotten work by Scorsese himself. Not that Joker is imitating Scorsese, far from it. While Joker absolutely pays direct homage to Taxi Driver in many ways, including the famous fingers to the temple pulling the trigger gesture that so prominently concluded the bloodbath at the end of Scorsese's greatest triumph, Joker takes Travis Bickle and turns him on his head. Joker dares to walk the edge in the same bold way the Taxi Driver did, and it manages to stick its messy landing with confidence and assurance. Phillips knows exactly what he's doing. I mentioned his cinematic literacy earlier. A component of literacy is understanding and expounding upon the vocabulary of the past. Phillips is working on the meta level with Joker and leaves no doubt of the fierce intelligence and awareness lurking beneath the surface. For example, the casting of Robert De Niro as a late-night talk show host is a direct tip of the hat to Scorsese's film, The King of Comedy. In that film, De Niro stars as a struggling comic who becomes obsessed with a late-night talk show host and kidnaps him to force the host to invite him onto the show. Now, De Niro is that talk show host, and Joaquin Phoenix is the obsessed fan. But rather than literally recreating that scenario, Phillips turns it on its ear and uses the similarities as a kind of harmonic resonance between Joker and the body of work of Martin Scorsese. I, for one, exult in this kind of cinematic awareness, the intelligent application of homage to a movie that not only evokes the master cinema of the past, but revives it. In pop culture, we're seeing a revolution starting to stir. A revolution against the vacuous conformity of modern attention deficit popcorn pap and SJW virtue signaling. Dave Chappelle fired a shot across the pop culture bow, Bill Burr slung his rocks, and now Joker serves as a rebuke against mediocrity and a call to action for lovers of cinema everywhere. I urge you all to answer that call. Go and see Joker. See it several times, regardless of whether or not you personally like it. Warner Brothers has thrown down the gauntlet. You say you want great cinema, well, here it is. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to rise to the challenge? Are you going to get out there and support excellence? I hope you will. I pray you will. Because if you don't, then you have only yourselves to blame when trash like Last Jedi and Knives Out are the only things left playing in theaters. Go see Joker and strike a blow for genius.